Hi, it's Abby. I am so excited to be here with you tonight. Or morning or afternoon, depending on where you are, right? So if you will give this video some likes or some hearts, say hi, we will get the algorithm to love us just a little bit more. And as my 6-year-old son would say, if you will do me a flavor, as opposed to a favor, I would appreciate that. So more people can see this. Tonight we're going to be talking about 5 tips to consistent 5K months as a female coach. Now, I help female coaches who are working a 9 to 5 find consistent clients and build their businesses. That's who I work with. And I have 20 plus years coaching and mentoring experience for a Fortune 50 company. I'm also a certified life coach, and I have 11 years owning my own small business. So I am here to talk to you again about those 5 tips. And I see Sonia. Hi, Sonia. Thanks for joining. And Bambi, nice to see you. So the 5 tips, we're going to talk about Facebook groups and utilizing those. We're going to talk about visibility, messaging, consistent leads, and making offers. Hi, Bambi. So let's talk first about Facebook groups. And you know how important they are because you are here, right? You know that they are available to you and provide value. The great thing to me about Facebook groups is you don't have to go into complicated tech, right? You're working a 9 to 5, you're trying to build a business. You don't have to have a website, and you don't have to understand complicated sales funnels in order to get clients. Facebook groups are a fantastic place to do that. And you want to keep it simple. I have a client and I love her to pieces. And when we first met, and I was first helping her find some clarity in what she was working on because she felt overwhelmed. She felt stuck. She felt kind of all over the place. And so we talked about, why is that? Why do you feel that way? And a lot of it was the tech. A lot of it was really complicated systems and apps that she was trying to use in order to do all the things, right, that people had told her she needed to do. And instead, we decided to focus on Facebook groups. And how could she find her ideal client and begin to build relationships with her ideal client, find her ideal client where they hang out using Facebook groups. You need to show up if you have a Facebook group, right? You are building a community. You are building a place of support and a place to provide training and value to your ideal client. But Facebook groups are my #1 tip. And again, because you're here or you're watching the replay, I know that you believe that too. Hi, Sonia. Thanks for joining. So, complexity later, right? You can jump into all the complexity and all the apps that you want to, but let's do that after you're making 5K a month, right? After you have consistent ideal clients. We can dig into all of those things. All right, #2, visibility. So, this is visibility, right? Jumping on a live, providing value, serving people. This is how you meet your ideal client where they are, right? And again, we just talked about Facebook groups. Facebook Lives are an amazing way to do that. You can also do that on Instagram. You can use a lot of different social media platforms in order to be live. I, of course, suggest Facebook Lives because you can use that Facebook group, right? No complicated tech, no websites needed. Great way to get started. But they need to see and hear you. Your ideal client needs to know that you're there to support them, that you are there to provide them advice, accountability, and value. Good evening, Chevelle. Thanks for joining. So, when we used to work in offices, right? Or we worked in retail spaces, you got to know, like, and trust people in a different way. You were able to meet them at the coffee machine or meet them in the break room, or you'd likely talk to them because their child was selling Girl Scout cookies or whatever that looked like. Well, when you're in the online space, you don't have that. You don't have that luxury, and you have to get out there and build that same rapport with people that you would have face to face prior to being online. So visibility is incredibly important. All right, number 3, messaging. Now, it's really important that when you are messaging to your ideal client, you're really focused on their pain points. You're focused on the things that keep them up at night, right? That's really what we do as we serve others. We make sure that we're helping them with those things that are really critical to them, that are really important. And I know many of you on the line, hey Prue, thanks for joining, are doing that. You're providing a tremendous service to the people that you're working with as a female coach. So how do you know what your ideal client's pain points are so that you can message that when you're talking to them? Well, one of the things that we forget sometimes is that we need to talk to them. We need to talk to our ideal client. We need to find out from them what they really need from us. So we need to ask. Now, whether that is in the Facebook groups we already talked about, or that is in DM conversations, you need to be asking your ideal client. You need to be doing that kind of research. Now, research can be by asking, or research can be by Googling, right? Or searching other Facebook groups. See what people are asking in your particular niche. Messaging is incredibly important. And one of the things that I want to encourage you to do is don't be shy in your messaging. Make sure that you are sharing with the folks that are in your community about the things that you can do to help them, right? I think as women, we sometimes don't toot our own horn, right? We don't want to seem like we're bragging. And so when I talk to you about how you as a coach get other people to come into your world and to give you their support through that know, like, and trust, you have to be willing to talk about how you help people. I had a client, and it's one of those things that touches the heart, right? It like almost brought a tear to my eye. She sent me a note on a post that I had put up, and she said, "You're so incredible, Abby. Your ability to create clarity out of fog is one of your superpowers." And that just, right? Just melts your heart. You're like, wow. But a year ago, I wouldn't have shared with my community that compliment. I wouldn't have taken that compliment. I wouldn't have shared it. And so I encourage you, as one of my tips, to go out there and toot your own horn. Tell people about the really great things that you're doing to help and serve others. All right, number 4. We have consistent leads. Wow. Now, when I came into the space, I didn't really get the concept of consistent leads. I didn't really understand how important that was. You have to constantly be bringing new people into your world, sharing that amazing gift that you have. And so you have to have a process for doing that, a system for doing that. It doesn't just happen. So we talked about Facebook groups. We talked about figuring out where your ideal client hangs out. And then you have to talk to them. This is social media. You're building relationships. You're getting to know people. You want to be able to provide them help and value so that they want to come into your world. They want to come into your Facebook group. They want to learn more from you. So that's an incredibly important part of being able to consistently bring in income and consistently have clients. So you have to be on social, interacting with people, and bringing new people into your Facebook group. And then the last one is making offers. And it's funny, so many people get out there in the space and they're working on building a digital business and they never tell anybody what they do, right? If you don't tell people, oh, hi Gunjani, thanks for joining. If you don't tell people what you do, how can they work with you? How do they know what you do? How do they know what you offer? So we have to tell people. We have to tell people what we do and how we help and in which ways we serve. And when we do that, we have to be speaking to their pain points. So we talked about that earlier. What keeps them up at night? It's those pain points. It's those pain points in their business. And so we have to make sure that our messaging and the way that we are sharing our offers speaks to that for them and gives some urgency. Now, I help people get clarity, right? Swirling ideas, people are trying to start digital businesses, and I often work with people who they just can't seem to land, right? They feel stuck. It's analysis paralysis, and they're having trouble moving forward. And so when we start a business, we have to decide what to work on. But the great thing about having your own business, about your own digital business, is that you get to decide. You get to decide exactly what you're going to work on every single day. It's the amazing part of being an entrepreneur. And it's the thing that's different, probably, than your 9 to 5. You are able to, you're your CEO, right? I am the CEO of my business, and so are you as a female entrepreneur and a coach with your own business in the digital space. Now, the last piece related to offers is I did a Facebook Live audit for one of my clients. And when I did that, the biggest thing that I noticed when I did the audit was that she didn't smile. She wasn't smiling, and I couldn't feel that energy from her. And so I talked to her, and it turns out that she was doing her lives really late in the evening when that didn't work for her energetically, right? And when we make our offers, it has to be compelling to people. So, of course, my advice to her was, don't do them at night, right? If your energy is high and you feel motivated in the morning, do them then. Talk to people then and smile, absolutely smile, right? We want people to feel loved and supported as we work and serve those folks. So what have we talked about in terms of the 5 tips to help you make 5K consistently and bring in consistent clients? We've talked about Facebook groups. You don't need complicated tech. You don't need a website. You don't need funnels. A Facebook group can absolutely do that for you. We talked about visibility. Building know, like, and trust is incredibly important, and you have to be out there in front of people talking about what you do. Messaging. You have to share your wins, and you have to speak to your ideal clients' pain points. Number 4, you have to get leads. You have to consistently be bringing people into your world in order to build a digital business. And then lastly, you have to be making them offers. You have to tell them how they can work with you. It's amazing how often we don't do that. We do a lot of other things. We provide a lot of value and motivation and support, but we forget to tell people how they work with us. So I'm going to close this evening, and if any of this sounds familiar to you as a female coach, and you're wanting to build an online business and make consistent 5K months, I would love for you to join my Facebook group. I'm going to drop the link in tonight's comments so that you can do that. I would love to bring you in. The Facebook group will have free training, free resources. It's a great supportive community. I would love for you to be a part of that. And I'm going to give you one quote as I close. When you want something you've never had, then you have to do something you've never done. All right, have a great night. We'll talk to you next time.